In the headlines of this hour on VTV News, Vietnam and Singapore advance comprehensive strategic partnership. Later on, Vietnam aims to unlock private economy's potential. And in a world news, China condemns the US for impact of trade restrictions.
Broadcasting from Hanoi, the capital of Vietnam. VTV News starts right now.
Good morning. It is currently 8 a.m. local time, and you're tuning in to 30 minutes of VTV News. I'm Leland Lei with the latest updates. Prime Minister Phie on Wednesday hosted an official welcome ceremony for visiting Singaporean Prime Minister Lawrence Wong and his spouse at the Presidential Palace in Hanoi. The two-day official visit follows just over a week after Party General Secretary Tô Lâm trip to Singapore, during which the two nations elevated their ties to a comprehensive strategic partnership. More in the following.
The Prime Minister warmly welcomed Singaporean Prime Minister Lawrence Wong on his official visit to Vietnam, highlighting the visit's profound significance as the first high-level delegation exchange since establishing a comprehensive strategic partnership during General Secretary Tô Lâm official visit to Singapore. He emphasized that this visit underscores the shared commitment of both countries to translating the new cooperation framework into concrete actions. Following the welcome ceremony, the leaders proceeded to official talks. The Vietnamese leader congratulated Singapore on its development achievements and wished the country success in organizing its general election in 2025. He expressed his belief that the city-state will successfully implement the Forward Singapore and Singapore Dream initiatives, thus building a fair, harmonious, and increasingly prosperous society. The Singaporean Prime Minister emphasized the historical significance of the establishment of the Comprehensive Strategic Partnership, stating that Vietnam, being Singapore's first comprehensive strategic partner in ASEAN, reflects the trust, close-knit ties, and aspirations of both countries' leaders and their citizens to develop Vietnam-Singapore relations more extensively, intensively, and effectively. Following their talks, the leaders witnessed the signing of several cooperation agreements, including a letter of intent on developing an action program for the country's comprehensive strategic partnership. Other pacts cover offshore wind power trade, cross-border QR code payments, digital development and innovation, and people-to-people exchange.
After their talks, Prime Minister Phie and Singaporean Prime Minister Lawrence Wong attended the groundbreaking ceremony for the Vietnam-Singapore Industrial Park, or VTV, in Thái Bình Province. The two leaders witnessed the exchange of cooperation agreements between enterprises from both countries.
The project spans over 333 hectares and will cost approximately $200 million USD. Speaking at the ceremony, Prime Minister Phie emphasized that the Singaporean Prime Minister's visit brings renewed energy, a fresh spirit, and a next-generation approach to bilateral cooperation.
In our highly productive talk, we agreed to elevate the VTV to its second generation. VTV 2.0 will go beyond industrial development, integrating science and technology, innovation, trade, services, and urban planning. While the first-generation VTV model was highly successful, the second generation must be even more impactful, delivering greater benefits to our people and nations. The VTV serves as a model for complementing our economies. What Singapore needs, Vietnam can provide, and where Singapore excels, Vietnam can learn and leverage.
The VTVs have been the cornerstone of our bilateral cooperation for almost 3 decades, and it reflects Singapore's confidence in Vietnam's development potential. Once again, to thank Prime Minister Chin and all stakeholders who have contributed to the development of VTVs.
The groundbreaking ceremony also saw the exchange of cooperation agreements between the counterpart ministries, agencies, local authorities, and businesses. These agreements span various fields, including industrial park development, innovation, digital transformation, and the establishment of an integrated open innovation platform for agriculture and food value chains in both nations.
Party General Secretary Theo met with Singaporean Prime Minister Lawrence Wong in Hanoi on Wednesday. The party chief welcomed Prime Minister Wong following the recent upgrade of bilateral ties to a comprehensive strategic partnership. General Secretary Theo urged both sides to accelerate the 2025 to 2030 action program implementation. Emphasizing 6 key cooperation pillars, he supported collaboration on green energy, a regional green power grid, and the modernization of the VSIP industrial parks towards sustainability and smart connectivity. He also appreciated Singapore's approval of Vietnam's agricultural and livestock exports and highlighted opportunities for expanded food security cooperation. Prime Minister Wong affirmed their commitment to strengthening political trust, strategic coordination, and deepening cooperation between the two parties through regular exchanges and training programs. During his meeting with Singaporean Prime Minister Lawrence Wong, State President Leung Keung stated that Vietnam highly values its relationship with Singapore and emphasized the need to implement the comprehensive strategic partnership framework swiftly. Prime Minister Wong affirmed Singapore's commitment to endorse Vietnam's goal of achieving double-digit growth and becoming a high-income economy by 2045. The two leaders agreed to strengthen cooperation in renewable energy, undersea cable connectivity, and the digital economy. State President Leung Keung welcomed the continued development of the VSIP network to VSIP 2.0 with a focus on sustainability, innovation, and smart solutions. He also invited the Singapore president to visit Vietnam at a suitable time. Singaporean Prime Minister Lawrence Wong also met with National Assembly Chairman Chen Teng-man. The chairman stated that the two legislative bodies are effectively coordinating to implement the cooperation agreement signed in May 2022. The shared understanding was made during his visit in December 2024. He expressed his desire for the two parliaments to cooperate in legislative practices, oversight, and the promotion of signed cooperation agreements. Vietnam's National Assembly will facilitate favorable conditions for Singaporean businesses and foreign investors operating in Vietnam, encouraging investment expansion, particularly in advanced technology and renewable energy sectors. Earlier, Prime Minister Lawrence Wong and his spouse laid wreaths at the monument to the heroes and martyrs and paid tribute at President Ho Chi Minh's mausoleum. Secretary of the Party Central Committee and head of the Central Policy and Strategy Committee Chen Liu-Guang chaired a conference of the steering committee for the Project on Strategic Solutions to achieve double-digit economic growth in the new era. The conference announced the establishment of a steering committee and editorial team, along with key points from the draft documents. Emphasizing the project's urgency, Secretary of the Party Central Committee Chen Liu-Guang urged steering committee members to work with the strongest determination, focus on critical issues, ensure quality reports from ministries, sectors, and localities, and maintain close coordination. He stressed the importance of completing the project on schedule for submission to the Politburo in the near future. Businesses, foreign investors, and economic experts have called for bold policy reforms to promote the private sector as a driving force for economic growth and elevate Vietnam's global standing. These include removing existing barriers and implementing progressive policies that enable the private economy to flourish.
Amidst restricted access to business loans, this company advocates for targeted tax incentives to support private enterprises involved in global supply chains. Reduced tax rates would alleviate financial burdens, ensuring businesses have sufficient capital for reinvestment, particularly in high-tech industries such as automation.
Special tax incentives should be provided. For example, domestic enterprises supplying foreign companies or participating in global supply chains should receive tax benefits equivalent to those of exporters. This concept, which we can call domestic export, recognizes that supplying foreign enterprises in Vietnam is functionally similar to exporting to international markets.
Experts suggest creating special economic zones focusing on specific industries to maximize tax support while avoiding dependence on incentives. These zones would nurture leading private enterprises, enabling them to anchor supply chains and drive small and medium-sized businesses forward.
France has successfully developed specialized industrial zones. Each zone focuses on a key industry with clear economic benefits. Vietnam can adopt a similar approach by establishing special economic zones tailored to each locality's strengths. For instance, Haiphong and its surrounding regions could develop into a concentrated industry.
Beyond tax incentives, experts emphasize the need for a predictable and equitable business environment in which private enterprises enjoy fair competition, secured property rights, and freedom of business operations.
I think it's about stability. It's also about ensuring transparency, that everyone knows what's going to happen, and the stability that the policies and plans are for the next 5-10 years, because that will be a period of time that businesses need to establish themselves. So I think those are the key elements.
In the article, Private Economic Development, Leverage for a Prosperous Vietnam, Party General Secretary To Lam outlined a strategic vision for 2030, where the private sector is expected to contribute up to 70% of GDP, with globally competitive enterprises adopting advanced technologies and deeply integrating into international value chains.
Coming up next on VTV News. Vietnamese youth embrace the spirit of contribution for national development. And later on, Vietnam emerges as Southeast Asia's new tourism hotspot. Welcome back to VTV News Live. Now on to other important updates. The young generation has always been a driving force behind breakthroughs in the country's development, a pillar that determines the nation's prosperity. That is the viewpoint of the party and state, as General Secretary Theo Lam emphasized in the article, A Future for a Rising Generation. Therefore, igniting the spirit of innovation, the desire to contribute, the determination to rise among Vietnamese youth is essential.
Thu Ving's journey into archery began later than most. She won a gold medal in the 10-meter air pistol mixed team event at the Asian Rifle Pistol Cup 2025. She also secured 4th place in the women's event at the Paris Olympics.
I hope this victory will motivate me to develop myself and bring glory to the country.
As a graduate of a French university, Dr. Lê Kim Hùng received many job offers yet decided to return to Vietnam to research and teach. His many international publications in the technology sector are vital for Vietnam.
Every day I want to do more and contribute more to scientific research, improve my teaching, train more generations of passionate students, and contribute more to the development of the country.
The spirit of dedication has also spread through green lifestyle initiatives. For almost 10 years, the Keep Vietnam Clean group has attracted over 6,000 volunteers to clean up trash and rivers, protect the environment and plant greenery in Vietnam.
We receive a connection within the community and with young people who share the same concern for the environment. Through these events, we can raise awareness about environmental protection issues.
Across the country, hundreds of thousands of young people are spending the best years of their lives, contributing to a new era of national growth.
The Central Highlands provinces are mobilizing resources to eliminate temporary and dilapidated housing, ensuring improved living conditions for residents, especially ethnic minorities. With the combined efforts of the government and community support, numerous sturdy homes have been built and continue to be constructed.
A review shows over 18,000 temporary and dilapidated houses need removal in the Central Highlands. Thousands of police officers and soldiers are working overtime, including weekends, to help build new homes and support local communities.
Thank you to the police officers who have tirelessly helped my family build a new home. Now, we have a solid house and can focus on work and economic development with peace of mind.
The police have dedicated time and effort, working with various sectors and local people to actively advance this movement.
Misled by bad people, Ne Long went abroad by sea but soon realized it was a deception and returned home. He was delighted to receive housing and business capital support from the police.
Our family of 5 once lived in a dilapidated house, but thanks to the party, the state, and the Ministry of Public Security, we now have a new home. I'm very grateful and can now focus on my business.
We are building 4,285 houses for poor and near-poor households, aiming for completion by August 15, 2025.
With the determination of the Ministry of Public Security, local authorities, and community support, thousands of households will soon have new homes, laying the foundation for a better future.
Phú Quốc will host thousands of delegates and leaders from 21 major economies at the 2027 APEC Forum, offering a chance to boost its position as a leading tourism and economic hub. However, to seize this opportunity, it must improve infrastructure, upgrade urban landscapes, and expand accommodation and conference facilities.
Phú Quốc faces urban development challenges with chaotic streets and ad hoc construction. To host APEC 2027, it must build a multifunctional complex, including a conference center, a 69-story tower, hotels, a casino, and a marina, all in just 2 years with private funding.
Concerns about the project's timeline include Phú Quoc's island location, which could be affected by weather, transportation of materials, and coordination with personnel and construction agencies.
Although APEC-related projects will have special mechanisms, the biggest concern remains land clearance.
We have best-in-class function space already. We have an 800 square meter ballroom, which is perfectly suited for large events. We have an immense amount of outdoor space and 5 dining outlets as well. So we feel very well equipped as a resort. As a destination, there's certainly opportunities. So if you think about it, that flights coming into Phú Quốc, this is the oxygen of our tourism and our MICE business.
To ensure our commitment to creating favorable conditions, we will establish a strict monitoring mechanism and effective coordination between authorities and investors to promptly address any issues.
To make a global tourism impact, Phú Quốc needs strong local leadership and accelerated projects from strategic investors.
The increase in international tourists is a key driver of tourism development. According to international outlets like Bloomberg, Business Times, the Bangkok Post, and Singapore's Straits Times, Vietnam has become an emerging tourism powerhouse in Southeast Asia, with a significant surge in international arrivals. Relaxed visa policies, direct flights, and the rise of luxury hotels on pristine islands are helping Vietnam attract more international visitors. In 2024, Vietnam recorded 17.5 million international arrivals, surpassing Singapore to become Southeast Asia's 3rd most visited country. Vietnam aims to reach a record 23 million international visitors by the end of the year. The Visit Vietnam Year 2025 opening ceremony took place in Hue City on Tuesday evening. This year's event holds special significance, coinciding with the 50th anniversary of the liberation of Hue City from 1975 to 2025. It also celebrates Hue officially becoming a centrally governed city.
The opening event for Visit Vietnam Year Hue 2025 with the theme A River's Confession. It recreated the historical and cultural flow and development of the ancient capital. The program was grandly staged with over 800 professional artists, singers, actors, and international art troupes from China and South Korea. All of them created a colorful artistic feast.
I found the Phie performance very special, with an ancient look.
The performances are very grand. Hue tourism will be very grand.
The opening ceremony also allowed viewers to enjoy stories about other famous rivers and unique cultural features of each area in Vietnam.
We are putting all our efforts into organizing the Tourism Year Festival. Hue City's tourism and service industry will embrace this opportunity to the fullest to ensure socio-economic development, focusing on promoting the sector's potential.
The opening ceremony of Visit Vietnam Year Hue 2025 is part of the city's long-term strategy to develop its tourism. Throughout the festival, 75 major national and international events in Hue City promise to significantly boost tourism.
Coming up next in our world news. China condemns the US for the impact of trade restrictions. And later on, South Korea launches full-scale response to forest fire. Now moving on to our world news, the Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs on Wednesday expressed opposition to the U.S., adding Chinese entities to the export restriction list. China will take necessary measures to protect its businesses' legitimate rights and interests. Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesperson Wang Wenbin called on the U.S. to stop politicizing and weaponizing economic, trade, scientific, and technological issues to impose restrictions on Chinese companies. Earlier, the U.S. Department of Commerce added 80 entities from various countries, including China, Iran, and the United Arab Emirates, to a list restricting access to U.S. goods and advanced technology in the semiconductor sector. Among the Chinese companies are 6 subsidiaries of Inspur Group, a leading provider of big data services and cloud computing in the country. Thai Prime Minister Phie Shinawatra has survived a no-confidence vote in Parliament, which was proposed by the opposition. This was her first such challenge, 7 months after becoming Thailand's youngest female prime minister. Opposition members questioned her on issues like high electricity prices, low agricultural product prices, the development of casinos, and other allegations. In response, Phie reaffirmed the government's commitment to transparency and responsible management. With 319 votes in favor, 162 against, and 7 abstentions, the Xi won the vote, showing the stability of the 11-party coalition led by the Theo Thai Party. After the vote, she expressed that supportive and opposing votes would drive her and the cabinet to work harder for the people. U.S. President Donald Trump is working to downplay an escalating scandal after a journalist was accidentally included in a conversation on the Signal messaging app between top security officials discussing airstrikes in Yemen. President Trump stated that no classified information was shared. He reiterated his support for National Security Advisor Mike Waltz, who unintentionally added Jeffrey Goldberg, a journalist from The Atlantic, to the conversation. This statement came amid pressure from the Democratic Party, calling for the resignation of officials involved. Meanwhile, National Security Advisor Waltz took full responsibility for the incident. The forest fire disaster in southeastern South Korea is unfolding at an unprecedented level of severity, surpassing all previous predictions and assessment modeling. The wildfire, which has been raging for the 5th consecutive day, has claimed at least 18 lives. Firefighting forces are still struggling to contain the rapidly spreading blaze.
Acting President of South Korea, Han Duck-soo, stated that the government had raised the nationwide forest fire alert to the highest level and is mobilizing all available resources to control the wildfire.
The main reason the wildfire is difficult to control is the strong winds blowing throughout the night, reaching storm warning levels. We are putting all our efforts into firefighting and mobilizing all available support.
The wildfires started in Sancheong County on March 21st and have spread to nearby areas, including Uiseong, Andong, and Yeongdeok. The South Korean military has deployed 5,000 soldiers and 146 helicopters to control the fire, which has destroyed over 17,000 hectares of forest and 200 buildings. Around 23,000 people have been evacuated. The fires also destroyed Gyeongsa Temple, an ancient site, though its national treasures were safely relocated. Evacuated residents reported being unable to take anything as the fire spread rapidly.
The wind was too strong, and the fire from the mountain came down to my house. I barely managed to escape.
Many people have been accommodated in shelters, and the government is working to provide emergency relief and financial support to those displaced.
Up next, let's have a look at the weather forecast for Vietnam and other locations in the world. And that is all that we have this hour on VTV News. To rewatch our program, you can visit our website or YouTube channel or download our mobile app VTVgo for more. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.